nicely. If you want to take anything home from this video, it's that love and fear, yin and yang, okay? Like, this is not a game. This is not a game. This is not a game. Hey guys, Peternoic, and guys, the hype is real because BTS just released the new notes for the upcoming comeback, Love Yourself Answer. Now, everyone's going crazy. Armies are losing their minds, you know, they're like, why is it called Answer when they didn't give us any answers? We're gonna look at the notes today, but we're also gonna address some things that I forgot to mention in my other videos. If you haven't checked out my other videos regarding this matter, bam, click right here. I'll link one of them, but I did like 3, so yeah, you guys can just search on the channel. Now, if you're new here, please hit the subscribe button, turn on those notifications for more BTS. Now, your minds might be blown, or you guys might already know all of this stuff, but I just wanted to compact it all into one video. If you have a hat of any sort, please wear it right now, because we're gonna wear our detective hats. So, boop. Now, the first thing we're gonna look at, alternate universes. Okay, now you're like, Peter, we can't just jump straight into alternate universes, like, you need to ease us in. No. Okay, we're gonna go straight into it. So there's been this ongoing theory and notion of alternate universes within the BTS music videos and the BTS world in general. So we're gonna look at some examples in these music videos of where there's sort of been like a space-time continuum rip. People have met themselves, okay? You could say they've even faced themselves. Okay, we're going too deep here. Alright, so first off, we're going to look at Cookie here in Spring Day. This is the iconic moment. So, you know, he joins up with his homies and they're running. And then you got the train. Bam. And then he sees himself, okay? Now, that's the first instance of these alternate universes, the rip in the space-time continuum. So, that's number 1. Now, the next rip that we have is in Blood, Sweat and Tears Japanese version, and we're looking at Chim Chim here. Okay, we're looking at Chim Chim, so let's load it. Boom, bam, alright, covers the eyes, drops the apple, he sees himself, what happens next? Boom, he gets flown. Okay, he gets flown to some random colorful land where I want to go. That looks nice. But yeah, you know, so that's another instance of these alternate universes, okay? Now you're like, Peter, why are you mentioning alternate universes? Well, it leads back to this whole theory of Jin being a time traveler, okay? So this is the rip in the space-time continuum, guys, and we got your boy Sok Jin there, okay? We're gonna look here at the highlight reels. Yes, I know. You guys are sick of it by now. You're like, Peter, you keep coming back to these highlight reels. Like, we get it. No, you don't. Okay, now... Now, I don't know if you armies have heard of this theory. You probably have. It's like a really famous one. You probably heard the word Smeraldo being thrown around left and right, okay? It's a flower, okay? Now watch here. So, Smeraldo, the thing that you always hear of is this flower here. And we'll go into it afterwards, but that's in the diary that the chick dropped when Jin was at the train railway thingy, okay? Now, notice the date here, guys. 30th of August. Alright. And you know, Jin's getting all dressed up, ready to see his date, okay? Remember? Yeah, very nice. And it tips over. Okay, this is very important, guys. This is very important. You're like, Peter, where are you going with this? Bear with me, folks. Okay, now we're gonna go further on. Okay, 30th of August. Now, what was the date in the first scene that I showed you? That's right, 30th of August. Okay, now what's going on here? What's going on here? You're like, Peter, but what if this is just like in another year? Like, no. Watch this, okay. And he caught the vase, okay? Because we saw in the other alternate universe, it fell over. Here, he catches it. Now, how would he be able to know that it was going to fall over? And you're like, Peter, what if Jin just has quick reflexes? Maybe. But keep watching. Now, why is he all sad here? You see, in the other one, he was all happy, getting excited to dress up, nice, to meet the girl. But here, he's sad. I believe he's sad because in this universe, he tried to save her, but he couldn't, okay? She died. So she dies regardless. He time traveled because he knew that she died, but every single time he goes back, he can't change it. I don't know. It's just a theory though. Let's have a look at the speech that Jin gives here. If we could turn back the clock. Okay. Where should we go back to once we reach that place? Can all our mistakes and errors be undone? Oh, okay. Guys, think about this. He goes back in time in this universe because he already knows the chick's gonna get hit. And notice what he says here, where it's like, can our errors and mistakes be undone? So it's like, even if we go back in time, can we really change the outcome of destiny? You know, like if it actually happens, is it possible to change it? And in this universe, it looks like Jin is unable to. Okay, next up, we're gonna look at this Smeraldo. Okay, there's a blue flower that every single army knows about and talks about. Now, Smeraldo in Italian means emerald, okay? Smeraldo is the Italian translation of emerald. Emerald in Buddhism, it is considered one of the 7 treasures and equated to wisdom. Wisdom. Epiphany. Answer. The flower doesn't really exist. It is just a white flower painted with blue paint to make it more beautiful. There's actually a story. There's a story talking about Smeraldo, okay? So let me read it for you guys. Okay, this is story time with Peter. So there's a story called La Città di Smeraldo that takes place in a small town in Italy in the 1500s to 1600s. The story is about an ugly man who hid in an old castle alone. Because of his looks, he received lots of hate and cruelty while growing up. He never opened his heart to anyone. Oh damn, alright. Whenever they tried to approach him, he hid in anger. His happiness was to plant flowers in his garden. Does this sound familiar? I'm sure some of you armies already know where I'm going with this, but it's fine. One day, a woman appeared near the man's castle. She jumped over the garden fence and stole a flower. This angered the man at first, so he watched his garden all night, but when he fell asleep, the woman took another flower. This continued for several nights. The man pretended to be asleep and watched the woman steal a flower. He started becoming curious about the woman. He began waiting for her. Oh, okay. Without realizing, he kept waiting for her to come, and the next day seemed a little brighter. Oh, okay, alright, this is pretty cute. Following after her one day, he realized that she was selling the flowers that she stole from him to make a living. The man desperately wanted to help the woman, but he was afraid she would be terrified by the way he looks. He knew she would not love his grotesque appearance. He came to a conclusion that the only way he would be able to help her is to let her continue stealing flowers from his garden. Oh, okay, look, I'm not crying, you are. The man decided to make a flower that doesn't exist on the planet. So that the woman can sell them at an expensive price. He began to make the flower in his castle. After many unsuccessful attempts, the man made a flower that didn't exist and filled his garden. But the woman stopped coming. Oh, no. No, how you gonna do that after the man went through all that effort to make Smeraldo? No matter how long he waited, she never came to his garden. He eventually found out that the woman had died. Plot twist. Oh my god. So I wrote the take-home message here. Is that in the story, the man did not love himself. Getting deeper. If he had loved himself, he could have showed his face to the woman and helped her before she passed away. Ooh, alright, this is some pretty deep stuff, guys. Pretty deep stuff. The flower symbolizes a truth that cannot be told. Now, you can interpret this a lot of ways, you know? Like the flower was the truth that couldn't be told because the woman died. Or it's the truth that couldn't be told because you couldn't see the true beauty of the flower. The truth is beneath all that fakeness that you put on, right? So, same as our real selves. We cannot tell the truth about ourselves because people might not accept or like us. We create fake selves because we want to impress other people. Oof, alright, this is... BTS uses this flower to teach us a lesson of loving ourselves. They teach us that we shouldn't be like this flower. We should love our real selves and not create a fake self because we want people to like us. They use this flower to teach us to love our real selves and not the fake self that other people loved, the one you used to impress them. Oh shit. they use this beautiful yet fake flower to show us that being fake might make us look like a better person, but nothing beats your own true self. Oh my god. Alright, this is... oh boy. We're gonna look now at some instances where the Smeraldo actually had a cameo in these BTS music videos. So this is dating back to the Run era, okay? So they were thinking about this like even back then. Okay, do you see that? Boom, this blue flower in the back, okay? Yeah? Alright. Stick with me. Knock it over. You gotta knock over the Smeraldo, man. Yep, knock it over. Boom. Okay, chucked it up there. Where he zooms out and you see the Smeraldos on the floor. And then we have a more recent one, okay? Because if you think I'm just pulling this out of my ass, you know, nah, okay? Now we're gonna go to Singularity. Watch here what V is doing, okay? Watch him closely. Alright, so you see him with something in his hand, okay? But what is it? Can we get a closer view? Oh, it looks like a flower. You could even say that it's a Smeraldo. Remember the story that I just read you guys about that guy, okay? This embodies that story. V here, you know, he has the earring loved. It's like he's telling himself that, oh, you know, if I just leave this mask on, I'll be loved, you know? It'll be fine. But deep down, leaving the mask on is hurting himself. And so that's why there's the tear there, guys. There's the tear. Because you're not being true to yourself. So you put on the mask, so then you feel loved, but deep down, you're only making yourself cry with the tears. Bam. Final thing, guys, okay? We're gonna look here at the notes that BTS dropped, okay? They were translated. Shout out to @milktay_JPG. I didn't get all of it, but I just got the important parts that I wanted you guys to see. So this is just like a compact version of it, but basically Namjoon pops up and then they open up this cabinet. I took a step closer. So this is from Jin's perspective. There was a note inside the cabinet. Namjoon picked up the note and turned to the first page. I instantly held my breath. The first page of a note that seems pretty old. The page had an expected name written on it. That was my father's name. Okay, so Namjoon and Jin, bam. They found a note inside this cabinet. There's Jin's dad's name on it. Okay, so this is some next level stuff happening. As Namjoon tries to flip another page over, I took the note away from him. Namjoon seemed surprised and looked at me, but didn't mind much. I went through the bookshelf, then an old note tipped over as if it was about to crumble. This book, written in my father's handwriting, was diary by my father that recorded what he experienced with his friends in high school. Okay, so this is drawing parallels here. Okay, so you have Jin's dad and his adventure in high school with his homies, and then you have Jin here with the Bangtan boys. I knew that my father went through the same thing as me. Okay, so drawing the parallels here. He also made a mistake in his life and tried to run and run to make up for his mistakes. Okay. My father ended up giving up and failed. He forgot, ignored, and avoided it. He lost his friends. The last page only had a date written and the rest was covered with dark ink. Alright, I wonder what that date is, guys. My dongsangs, including Namjoon, were scattered around sleeping. I looked up to the ceiling. I remembered seeing my dad's name written somewhere here. Below that, there was a sentence written, "Everything started from here." Oh shit, we're getting an origin story here, okay? I felt something from the tip of my fingers as I was about to close the note. I was able to see the letters written under the ink stain. The color evaporated, but the traces of how the pen was pressed onto the paper were there. My father's time of fear and hopelessness. My father's map of soul was reflected and left on the note. When I closed the note, I teared up. Love yourself, tear. I looked at each one of them. Maybe we had to come back here. Everything started here. That's what it said. Remember? Everything started from here. Okay. I realized the joy of being together. I realized the meaning and the joy of being together and being able to laugh together. The initial mistake that committed, the mistake that I was never able to confess, was left like a scar. I think all of these things are not a coincidence. At the end of the day, had to get here. Okay, so you could say it's serendipity. So that I will find out about the mistakes and faults that I have committed and find the meaning of the pain and my agony, and perhaps take a step closer to finding a map to my soul. Finding a map to your soul. It's almost as if it's a metaphor for loving yourself. Okay. Now, you know, there's a lot of theories that came from these notes that Big Hit released, but there's one theory in particular, which I think you guys might have even picked up on it. Jin got his time-traveling powers from his dad. Dun dun dun. Alright. Guys, that's pretty much all I had to say in this video. I hope you guys are now informed on Smeraldo. You guys are informed on, you know, the alternate universe thing and the time traveling. But yeah, guys, let me know in the comments below all your thoughts and theories and what you guys made of the notes that BTS released. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate all the continued love and support. If you did enjoy this video, please be sure to hit the like button. It helps out a lot. Hit the subscribe button if you're new here and turn on those notifications for more BTS, for more quality content, for more mind-boggling videos. And share this video with all your fellow ARMYs, all your fellow K-pop fans. And I'll see you all tomorrow. Stay awesome, guys.